Good evening. This is the Elliott Wave update for the S&P 500 for Thursday, July 14th, 2022. Market spent the day today basically finishing up that D wave as it extended just a little bit further to the downside. It did exceed the low of wave B, but I'm going to allow it as it continues to fit inside the triangle pattern that I continue to show. So what the S&P has done that the NASDAQ did not was that wave D extended and went a little bit lower and then rallied again and got itself back above the 3,800 level. But first, it drifted all the way down to, it sold off all the way down to 3,724, I'm going to call it. And from there, then launched to make sure that it closed back above 3,800. So a very interesting day. And right now continues to trade about 3802 is where we're coming in right now. Now, again, wave D complete, wave E underway. Wave E, oops. All right, let's try that again. Come on. There we go. Wave E, I'm just going to go down to the hourly. Please bear with me. Again, long day. There we can see it a little bit better. So let's take a peek at the whole thing. Wave E, there's wave D finishing up right down below at 723. And then we get a wave D, and we got wave A, or excuse me, wave E. And that could be A, B, and we're in the C wave. Very possible. Because within the NASDAQ, we've done wave A, and wave B is the one that came down much lower than I thought. And now a wave E has taken the NASI all the way back above 11,800. In fact, back above 11,820. So both remain on track to fulfill some upside targets as they're related to wave E. Wave E for the S&P, which suggests that we're going to get up at least another 25, 30 points. Because right now we have our first resistance at 3822. We've managed on the hourly chart now to get back above that 50, got up to the 50, played around just a little bit, and then popped right there, as we're doing now, to get above that 50. And if it continues to hold above that 50, it will continue to produce a little bit more positive, very near-term picture for buyers to continue to possibly try to get back up towards 3823. That is where at 27 is where the 200 EMA is sitting. Then we have 3830, and then we have 3837, 38, which is where the 200 SMA is sitting. Ultimately, we could catch something that could take us all the way back up to 3850-ish. Right now, that resistance, that fib resistance, is at 3846. And that, I would think, is where we could likely complete wave E, the minor fourth wave, corrective phase. Now, again, what is to be expected when a triangle pattern finishes? It often thrusts out of the triangle in the direction of the trend. The trend right now is down. So being that it's a fourth wave, I'd be looking for a minor fifth wave, and that minor fifth wave should be going down. And the market should thrust out of it, break below 3724, 23, as it continued to head lower and break and just start to, let me go back out to the daily again, and start to break down, getting back below 3,700 as we head lower towards 3693, 3661, 3639, and on down. Remember, there we have, and when I can get this wave E and I can put in the extensions for a fifth wave, they all kind of cluster around 3225 down to about, what did I see? I think one time I thought 31 or 3,000, somewhere in there. So it's a little bit wide zone, but my expectations have always centered right around 30 through 32.25 to complete the intermediate C wave, and in turn, the primary A wave to set us up for a larger primary B wave rally, a counter trend rally. So we finish wave A, we finish the first ABC sequence on that intermediate degree. Now we're finishing that would complete wave A of a primary degree once this 3 wave is complete. Then we enter into a primary B wave and then a primary C wave, and that will be completing the A wave of a cycle degree, and we repeat the process. Cycle wave A all the way down, it'll be much lower than all this. And then we have a cycle B wave, and then we have a cycle C wave. So you can see why it takes time for all of this to unfold when we consider that this low on June the 17th remains in place, and that's the one that's going to break as minor 5 comes in. So we've been basically dealing with this for a month. And that has produced all of this sideways action. And that's why I imagine all of us is like, yep, summer doldrums, we're doing nothing, we're stuck in a triangle, blah, blah, blah. But I think we'll get a little bit of fireworks going here. So for tomorrow, I am considering that this E wave will continue, and we will start heading up into here. And once we get up here, we could spike. We could get up, and then they do a final spike. How long it takes into overnight, so Globex session, and then tomorrow's US session, which of course brings about expiration. And so I believe that we have a morning expiration in the ES, and then of course an afternoon expiration. And then the balance, we have all of our components companies and stocks, they also have an afternoon expiration. So it should be quite interesting. Again, tech seems to be in touch with the S&P and putting in a lot of control over movement. And that is coming via Apple, AMD, Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, all the way down to Netflix, NVIDIA, and Tesla. All we will find in those top 10 within the S&P that are contributing the most, highest percentages and weightings for the movement that happens in the S&P and also in the NASDAQ. So once this is done, and that would happen more than likely up in this whole area up in here, depending on how hard they want to thrust. If you consider today, they're already almost 100 points up off that low. And that's all within 24 hours. So it's all within 12 hours, actually, of when we got down here. So what will happen in another 24? We could be ending up here. And then the expectation is that once wave 4 is done, again, the market thrusts out of the triangle in the direction of the trend, which is down. And then I'd be looking for it to start just, and thrust is what the key word is there, just starts to go, boom. And I mean, breaking all these levels, breaking below the moving averages. If it's above here, breaking quickly below, all below, and just starts to head out of town. And that means breaking 37.23, heading down, and breaking 36.93, heading down, and breaking 36.39, etc. Whether that, again, timing, I would imagine that they're going to be looking for a higher expiration, at least for the morning. I would think at least on the opening for those AM expirations and SPX and ES, I believe. They're going to want as high as they can get. So do not be jarred if we walk in tomorrow morning and it's all up in here somewhere and they're pushing. And then suddenly it's done and it goes poof. Don't forget as well, tomorrow we have retail sales before the market opens. And I'm not sure, maybe they're one of the banks or somebody else is going to come in and report tomorrow before the opening. Nope, they're going to wait until Monday for Bank of America. Goldman Sachs also on Monday before the market. So there's got some fireworks for what we're going to have tomorrow. Then we get some additional bank fireworks coming on Monday. Today we did have JP Morgan and we had Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley didn't really, neither one blew any doors off. In fact, JP Morgan's were disappointing according to the market, but it did recover into the close. How long that lasts, all depends. All right, so I am going to leave it there. We're going to look for the completion of the triangle and the minor four and see how and when we'll get that minor fifth wave started. What we'll be looking for to give us indications and support that that's exactly what has happened is the thrust. Once we start to see that, I'll have much more confidence in that four is complete and we're now heading to a near-term bottom. Don't forget, minor wave 4, minor wave 5, once it's complete, that also completes the B wave. Completes the C wave. Whew, long day. And in turn, primary wave A, as I've just explained, that we get a primary wave B and a C, et cetera, et cetera. So a lot coming up, and there'll be a tone change. Again, we're looking for some stronger downside, but that again should finish another midterm cycle on an intermediate degree, and then the start of that, cycle on a primary degree to carry it forward. So we get another decent, longer term rally. All right, leaving it there. Continue to trade using the moving averages tomorrow. They'll continue to tell us the story until this is all done. Then they will acknowledge the completion and start of, because they'll all be broken on the way back down. So next update will be on Sunday, July the 17th.